Okay. Robert is going to choose 3 people to answer his questions in table topics. And I'm sure he will step up to the challenge and challenge us on what's important in Toastmasters. Robert. Your mic, Robert.
I'll get it.
Pardon?
Okay.
You're fine.
It looks like I'm okay. When we looked at the poster for this meeting, there was a picture of Mark Twain and a quote from Mark Twain that said that travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. You can see I have added to the bottom, yes, no, or why. If we look at the history, Mark Twain was active on the Mississippi River during the 1800s, before our Civil War, and he was against slavery. So frequently he wrote items that would deal with this. If we look at these 3 items, they're not the same, but there's a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is ask you to argue with it for or against the statement. And the first one I'll ask to step up is Bruce Page. Bruce Page, your subject is bigotry.
Mr. Topics Master, I think that I agree with this statement completely. I find that when one travels, particularly if you are open-minded and are prepared to watch and listen a little bit before imposing your own views on other people, that if you get to know people that live almost anywhere in the world well, you'll find that there's actually very little difference between them. I think everywhere in the world people want the same sort of thing. They want a happy life, they want their families to be well off, well cared for, they want their children to prosper. So one way of finding out what the nuances are between people is to go and speak to them. And you can't really speak to them without going to their countries and to speak to them directly. Nowadays, of course, we do have this wonderful internet, and we're able to almost get into each other's rooms directly with the sort of technology you're using right now. And I find that if one does that, we learn so much about each other. And I think that is the only way really to break down bigotry. So I think what Firebirds are doing is fantastic. We should do a lot more of it. And I see my green light is up. I've made the yellow light. So let me go on a little bit. I've got 30 seconds to say a little bit more about bigotry. Bigotry, of course, is destroyed by knowledge. And it's not only travel that helps you, but reading about people before you go traveling. Try and find out as much as you can about the country that you're going to, as much as you can about the people that are in that country. And so that when you go to them, you can ask about what it's like living where they are. You can speak to them in terms that they understand. And it's something that I think Mark Twain was very, very insightful to speak about. Mr. Topics Master.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. To our second speaker, we have the word prejudice. And I'd like Andre to address the issue of prejudice. Where is Andre? Here he comes.
Right here. Will you quickly define, Bob, what the word means, actually, just quickly?
Prejudice is the word of the 3 that he listed. And I'm asking you to either agree or disagree that travel will kill prejudice.
I certainly, Mr. Topic Master, certainly agree to that. In fact, traveling, which real traveling for me is actually not going places, but meeting people. And in meeting people, it involves listening to people. I'm not here to brag about stuff or asking directions. I am more into actually listening to people, what they value, and what way to kill that pre- uh, prejudice is to actually meet people. Where would I choose to meet people? In markets, in farmers markets, in produce market. This is where I would meet actual people doing their real life, being their own self, not playing roles. So I believe that traveling in specific ways would enhance my view of the world and people. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you so much. Our third speaker would be OG. And you're going to discuss narrow-mindedness or argue for or against. OG? Is he there? There he's coming up.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Narrow-mindedness. The world is a wide open space, big enough for all of us to play, big enough for all of us to dream. When we travel, we explore areas and places beyond our original scope. I've met people from different countries, all living in the same camp with me in Iraq. And with every conversation I engage in with them in, I get to learn something new. And then their world opens up to me. So we find out that my world mixes with their world, and their world mixes with another world, and all of a sudden, all what could have been potential narrow minds become open minds fused together in one sweet harmony. So yes, travel and the experiences as a result of that does really destroy narrow-mindedness.
Fine. Thank you. I can come to only conclusion: the world is safe and in good shape because there are three people who believe with Mark Twain that travel does improve what we have. I would leave you with one of the quotes from Mark. And he said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. I'm sure that I don't have to remember much today.
Great.
Toastmaster, I'll return control to you.
Thank you, Bob.